Houston Life. It's Monday, and for many families, that means we're 1 week away from spring break. You looking forward to that?
Always.
And you know what? Perhaps you are traveling and staying with family and friends. I know I am.
I was going to say, we're going to talk about you here in a second, but the better question is, what kind of house guest are you? Do you know the rules when somebody welcomes you into their home? I mean, we've all had that one friend or relative who always leaves their towel everywhere. My big pet peeve is a half-empty soda can as well. Children do that all the time. So how do you know to make sure that you are invited back? We have experts here with us as well. Joining us are Houston's Darian and Monica Lewis from the Monica Lewis School of Etiquette. Guys, thank you for being here today. We are so excited to get into this conversation.
Yeah. We've been talking about it all morning. Oh my gosh, guys, thanks for joining us. Now, you say there's basically 5 rules.
Yes.
5 rules.
There are 5 general rules that work just about for everyone.
Okay.
So we're going to get right into them, but a couple of them are kind of common sense, but a couple of them are really, really, really intense on the scale of annoyed to, welcome back.
Yeah.
So we're going to help you today. The first one that I have to tell you is don't show up unannounced. And I know you're like, how could that happen? Sometimes when we're getting in the plan, especially if you're traveling with children, we can start to say, oh, I'll be there Tuesday. But did you say the exact time you're arriving? Or did you forget to tell us, that you're arriving at 2 o'clock Central and you're still on Eastern? So we need to know those things.
Did the flight get backed up?
Did the flight get backed up?
I just realized I'm a bad house guest because I spoke with my mum the other day and I said, oh yeah, I'm arriving on Thursday. And she said, oh, that's nice because you never told me. And I said, I told you I'm coming. She said, I know you're coming to Australia. I didn't know when.
Okay.
Yes.
So now you need to follow up with the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give the time. Give the time. Give them at least a 2-day heads up with the time. And if something happens, like flights are delayed or something like that, it's nice to send them a quick text if you're in the airport, if you can, so that they can adjust on their end. Never show up to the house, though, unannounced.
Super smart. The second one is really curious. I want to kind of know what you mean by this. You say, it says, don't hold the host hostage. What do you mean by that?
Exactly, taking up all their time. So if you're staying about 3 days, typically a host will have everything lined up. But if you stay like 4 to 5 days, 1 day out of those 4 or 5 days you should do independently.
Got it.
And so that means that having something planned already, you can invite them and the host don't feel obligated to say yes because you want that time alone. So have something planned for yourself.
Like a bit of decompression with you and your guests.
Right, right.
That's smart. That's
Yeah,
super
1
smart.
day is a good time to, explore the city on your own. And that includes arranging your own travel as well. So Uber, Lyft, any of those would work. But yeah, that host would greatly appreciate that. So
Give him some time.
Yeah, so
Yes,
don't
give them some time.
assume you're going to borrow the car.
Gotcha.
No.
Because most guests think they can borrow the host cars. Yes.
Really?
That's one of the things that we get asked a lot, What
How do you say no?
Oh, yeah.
If your
That
guests-
could be an interesting conversation for sure.
It is.
Actually,
it is.
how do you say no to someone when they ask? I wouldn't even ask. But
It's delicate. So you just have to say, well, hey, what do you need to go? When are you going to be there? I can arrange transportation
So just saying, I
for
can
you.
get you a lift if you
Yes,
need
I
to.
can get you a lift, right? Because then you get into insurance questions and that
that's a good
whole
point.
different side of things. So it's always good to just not assume and arrange your own transportation.
And I don't know how you drive anyway, so.
There you go.
When I tell you
You're like, "Did I trust you?"
That's funny. That's
what
so
about
good.
cleaning up? Like, I always feel like I do the dance because if you're staying with someone, they often cook you dinner,
Right.
and then they're like, "No, do you relax?" But then you think, should I jump up and wash those dishes?
You should always offer to help.
Yeah.
But you should definitely clean up what you mess up.
Right. Got
it.
So let's talk about your room. Wherever you're staying, you should, when you wake up the next morning, it's always a nice thing to remake the bed. If you're using towels, you put them in the hamper or gently fold them back in their space where they go. And that way, when the host comes to do the laundry, they can quickly gather those
They'll
things.
know where everything is.
They know where they are.
Yeah.
If you have luggage and you're taking your clothing out of the luggage, hang them up or put them away. But don't just live out of your suitcase while you're there.
Right.
Yeah.
And live all over the house.
All over.
So you have that room, that is your room.
Right.
And then also clean up behind yourself when you brush your teeth. You know how the toothpaste hit the mirror. Clean that up.
Clean all of it.
And so.
Good tip. but it's so true. It happens with the best of us.
It's like you've hung with my youngest daughter.
We have 5 children.
Check it all.
Yes, so yeah.
Y'all know.
Yes.
Y'all know.
Yes, and we're the house that everyone comes to. So these are a little
so
bit.
funny.
Yeah, this is a little cathartic for us today too.
Oh my God.
All right, so now the next question is here, and I think this is one can probably be a little tricky because this could get a little personal for folks when we talk about the idea of don't overstep your boundaries. How many times have you guys probably had this question from an in-law, a mother-in-law, father-in-law, someone that goes in and says, you know, oh, well, you're doing that wrong. Let me show you how to do it.
I plead the fifth. Go for it.
It happens quite often. But if you are a guest at someone's homes, even though you have that relationship with that person, when something of that kind is sensitive, do not give unsolicited advice. You know, so if they're disciplining their child and you don't like how they discipline, this is not the time for you to jump in, you know. Or there's a argument between the spouse, you know, that is the moment you actually should leave the room.
Like disengage into
not just act like you're on your phone and listening all at the same time. You know, talking about, oh yeah, I like this tea here. But that's the time for you to leave the room and give them some time.
That's
right. I mean, could you later on give maybe, oh, you know, when we were staying, if you really felt like it was something you...
Wait for them to open the conversation.
Oh, okay. And definitely not when you're at there.
Not when they're at the house. Because, you know, sometimes we can get very involved in other people's, you know, lives, especially if we're friends or if we're really close family members, and you want to help. And you may think you're helping, but you may divulge information that they didn't want you to share with their partner or their child. So make sure that you don't just jump in unsolicited. When they come back to you and say, hey, you know, I know you heard that. Yeah, I did. Here, are you okay? But don't jump in the midst.
So basically think before you press send.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's good advice.
Absolutely.
And then once it's all over, what's the best way to thank the host?
Well, you want to thank them. You want to thank them on arrival.
Right. So you're bringing a hostess gift, even though you're going to mom's house, bring something.
Bring a hostess gift.
But always bring something as when you entering and when you leaving, you can mail whatever that thank you package is. You know, and that would have given you enough time to find out what that host liked during that week. Maybe sending a picture frame, a picture of you probably taken with the guys during that week. And just, it don't have to be anything expensive, but really think about what you're
It should
giving.
be thoughtful, it should be sentimental, but it definitely should express your gratitude.
And take the price tag off
As
of
you
it.
said,
Please.
just to show it.
You've always got to remember to take that price tag off, right? Especially, especially if you're buying things at Home Goods like I do.
Now you guys have, You guys have a camp coming up in the next week.
We do.
About what was this called? This is a 3-day Manor Makeover camp. Tell us about that. People are interested.
So our Manners Makeover camps are really fun. It's a 3-day. We call it our Spring Fling. So for all of you parents who are calling and saying, I want my kid to take etiquette classes, this is the time to do so. We give them 3 days of intense training on everything from posture, poise, dining, the social graces. Please, thank you, welcome. We'll even cover some of the how to be a good house guest in this one. But it is a really intense course, 9 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday, March 13th through the 16th. And you can get information about us on our website.
www.mlsoe.com.
Amazing. That's such good. My mom taught me good manners, so I think it gets you far in life.
It does, and we can tell.
That's a great.
Good job, Mom.
Oh my gosh, this has been a joy chatting with you guys today.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if you want to connect with Darian and Monica for one of their etiquette classes, as they just mentioned, the camp, head on over to the Scene On section of our website, HoustonLife.com, or .tv that is, and you can find out all information about them as well.